river lift systems are there. These river lift systems directly draw water from rivers and is used as irrigation purposes and is used for irrigation purposes. Rainwater harvesting and watershed management increase storage of rainwater for later use in agriculture. Rainwater harvesting and watershed management. These are two technologies which increase the storage of rainwater. That when we are getting lots of rain, that rainwater is harvested and is used for agriculture in later time. So rainwater harvesting and watershed management increase the storage of rainwater for later use in agriculture. So irrigation is one of the most important, very important factor for improvement of crop yields. For irrigation, we all know that it is the most important factor for agriculture success, and in India, mostly we are depending on rain for irrigation. Wells, canals and tanks are some important irrigation systems. So you all know that wells are getting water from underground sources, but canals getting water from rivers or some reservoirs. Then river lift systems directly draw water from rivers and is used for irrigation purpose. Then rain harvesting and watershed management. These are two technologies which increases the storage of rainwater for later use in agriculture. That's all about the factor irrigation. So our next topic related to improvement in crop yield is crop pattern. Risk of crop failure is reduced in mixed cropping. So when we are following a mixed cropping technique, the risk of crop failure is reduced, wherein two or more crops are grown together on the same field. In this mixed cropping technique, in the same field, two or more crops are grown together. When these two or more crops are grown together, risk of crop failure is reduced. So how we can reduce the risk of crop failure? We can reduce the risk of crop failure by using mixed cropping. What is mixed cropping? Mixed cropping is the technique where two or more crops are grown together on the same field. So we are having two questions in the same point. How we can reduce the risk of crop failure? We can reduce the risk of crop failure by using mixed cropping technique. What is mixed cropping? Mixed cropping is the technique where two or more crops are grown together on the same field. Two or more crops with different nutritional requirements are grown on the same farm in intercropping. What is intercropping? This is mixed cropping. Then next question, what is intercropping? What is intercropping? Two or more crops with different nutritional requirements are grown on the same farm. So two or more crops with a different nutritional requirements are grown on the same farm, and this technique is known as intercropping, so as to utilize maximum nutrients and prevent speed of diseases and pests. This intercropping technique utilizes maximum nutrients and prevent speed of diseases and pests. So how we can prevent the speed of diseases and pests? We can prevent the speed of diseases and pests by using intercropping technique. What is intercropping technique? Two or more crops with different nutritional requirements are grown on the same farm is called intercropping. In crop rotation, different crop combinations are grown on the same field in a pre-planned succession so as to get maximum returns. Next point is crop rotation. First is mixed cropping, then intercropping. Third one is crop rotation. What is crop rotation? Different crop combinations are grown on the same field. Different crop combinations are grown on the same field in a pre-planned succession, so as to get maximum return. This is what called crop rotation. So here in crop pattern, we are having three important main points. First is mixed cropping. What is mixed cropping? Two or more crops are grown together on the same field. Next is intercropping. What is intercropping? Two or more crops with different nutritional requirements are grown on the same farm. Then what is crop rotation? Different crop combinations are grown on the same field in a pre-planned succession. Next question that can be asked from this topic is how we can reduce the risk of crop failure. We can reduce the risk of crop failure by using mixed cropping technique. Then next is how we can prevent the spread of diseases and pests. We can prevent the spread of diseases and pests by using intercropping technique. How we get maximum returns in a pre-planned succession? If we are following crop rotation, then we get maximum returns. So how we execute the crop rotation? In crop rotation, different crop combinations are grown on the same field in a pre-planned succession so as to get maximum return. That's crop pattern. So our last topic in this chapter is nutrient management. This is also a factor in the improvement of crop yields. So we are having different factors to improve our crop yield, which is manures, fertilizers, then crop management. Next is nutrient management. This is one of the important techniques that we adopt to improve our crop yield. Weeds, pests, and diseases can destroy large amount of crop plants. You all know that when we are carrying out our agricultural process, if weeds, pests, and diseases are happening, then it may destroy large amount of crop plants. So we need to control these weeds, pests, and diseases to gain better results, to gain better products, to gain quality products. So we need to control these weeds, pests, and diseases. Weed removal from crop fields is essential since they use up the requirements of crop plants like food, space, light, etc. So weed removal from crop fields is essential. So for what we need to remove the weeds from crop field? Because they use up the requirement of crop plants like food, space, light, etc. These food, space, light, etc. which are needed by our crop plants is consumed by these weeds. So our crop plants didn't get enough food, space, or light. So they start weakening. Gradually they weaken. They may get affected. They got diseases. And we didn't get enough result. We didn't get better quality products. So for getting better quality products, we need to remove that weeds. Insect, pests, and plant pathogens attack